special episode of Falling Upwards. I mean, in some ways, it's our regular weekly episode, but this is a special episode because we are here with some special moments. I'll break it down for you later, but who do we have? It's the one, the only, Maddie Armstrong.
Hi. You know something I've noticed when listening back to our episodes? You always introduce me like with my full name, but you never introduce yourself.
No, I'm a voiceless blob that is also here. I'm like, do you remember when you did that opening once where you were like, I'm just in your cupboard? And that was actually quite scary.
I'm in your walls.
Yeah, it's like that, but also not that.
No, we are equals. Everyone, in case you didn't know by this point, and you didn't read the description, this is Emma Kwan. Her first introduction. Like, we're at the end of season 2 almost.
Well, how are you doing today, Mads? Or this evening, this night, I should say. It's almost 10 p.m. here.
Honestly, I have no idea what time it is.
It's late.
In Maddie fashion, I had enough sleep last night, but in Maddie fashion, I had a nap from like 12, or was it 2? From 2 to 6 p.m.
Wow.
And I have no idea what day it is. Because I worked yesterday, it was bank holiday, I'm tired.
What do we have for mad news today?
So, very appropriately, I recently went to Italy in the Northeast for Udine Far East Film Festival, and that was a lot of fun. Perhaps the highlights nuggets I could bring from this trip for Mad News is the fact that the rivers there are the bluest, the azurest, the turquoisest blue you have ever seen in your life. Not everyone, but like when you see it, you'll be like, whoa, that's blue. That's what rivers are meant to look like. Like, even if it's overcast, which it only was in the first day because we're in Italy, it was bright blue. And that is due to, because I met these lovely new friends from Slovenia, which is next door to this part of Italy, that the cause of this beautiful pigment in the water actually traces back to the Alps.
Ah, nice.
Woo!
Nice.
So if you're in this specific part of the world, check out a river and rate how blue it is. Definitely, I would check out a nice clear river near you and do a little wade when the sun comes out. See how much it chills you out.
I did mention today was a special episode, and as you might have seen from the title, I was very, very kindly invited to be at the UK Asian Film Festival, and while I was there, you know I'm gonna collect some failures for you all. And you know there is nothing I like more than allowing our most glamorous arbiter of failures, Maddie Armstrong, currently chilling in her bed because that's the kind of person she is. There's nothing we love more than bringing a bunch of failures for her to arbit. We've had Imitaz Ali, we've got Onir, we've got some incredible people that have contributed from the red carpet, typewriter from the red carpet, their failures for you, and of course, for our most esteemed. I feel like we should get you a hat or a crown or something. Our most esteemed arbiter.
Like, isn't that incredible that you and I have the ability to ask someone on a red carpet, what's your favorite failure? Like, we just ask people that.
We do. And they roll with it.
Yeah. It's a great question.
Yeah. So, without further ado, we're going to listen to them all in one go because we like a cascade. And then Maddie will pass her ultimate judgment on them all.
I may rank them. We'll see.
My favorite failure is that's difficult. Okay, I've set this goal for myself and I keep failing to do it, is to cycle continuously for 50 kilometers. I've managed till 30. I've not gone beyond that.
Favorite failure? My inability to be on time.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, sorry, that's a horrible one to admit. Yeah, but I don't know what it is, but I'm always running late and hurrying everywhere. So yeah.
When I had to repeat the 9th standard because I failed in the ninth standard. I don't really have a favorite failure as such that comes at the top of my mind, but yes, I do hold failures much closer to me than success, because I feel like failure teaches, success makes you complacent. Yeah.
My favourite failure is the first time I walked into the BBC and thinking I had really ruined an interview that I wanted to do. 15 years later, I'm a BBC broadcaster and presenter. So that to me taught me to keep going, even when I thought, I failed this, I haven't done the justice that I thought I could do.
Failures are a really important part of our life because that spells growth. So my biggest failure is, I am dyslexic. So for me, everything is an effort. Everything I do is, for a long time, it felt like a failure when I was little, but now I wear it as a badge because I find solutions, an alternative way of doing things.
My favorite failure happens at the end of every festival when I think I could have done this so much better. And that
Is that you being hard on yourself?
No, that's being real and honest, and actually being honest enough to say we could have done better.
Nice.
And then also saying we haven't raised enough money.
Right.
We need to have the sponsorship that we need and the finances that we need to make this festival run properly, adequately, with the right team, and a team that's supported and backed, who have the passion to make these films accessible to audiences, to communities that want to see them. But we also need that support, the backing from businessmen. We also need that support from the government. So I think that is my biggest failure every year, is that actually it's the tax-paying income that we all put in isn't coming back to us in the amount that it actually should.
I might need to refresh some of these. S tier, the BBC lady.
Amazing, innit?
Honestly, sometimes you think you've absolutely made a right hash of something.
Yeah.
And it actually turns out that was like a great work of yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least something brilliant.
Yeah. For real.
It's not always like, this terrible thing happened, but I'm going to learn from it. No, maybe you're just like, fab, hun. Maybe it's just a great job. Allow yourself that.
If you had to rank them, what are you thinking? So is BBC lady lovely Shay Grewal? She's S tier.
Yes. So the color coded tiers. So we're picturing that. So S tier is that one. That was another S tier, but I can't remember what it was.
So we've got the cycling 50 kilometers. We've got failing
was it
the
15 or 50?
50.
I thought it was 15.
No, 50.
No,
50.
That's not a failure. You don't need to do that. If that's your failure, you're fine. You're fine. Honestly,
where were you putting that? Where were you ranking that one?
You are so fine. I know we don't consider it a failure because of just how wowzer that is. But out of sheer respect, like to the person that is just so accomplished that is your failure, I'm going to give it A tier. Because anything low would just be disrespect.
Okay.
What else did we have?
We have late, always late.
Oh yeah, when I heard that when I was doing like hand motions, me too. The fact that I'm like always on time is actually like a testament to how hard I try to fight against my own nature of being terrible with time. So if you don't see it, it's because I'm trying really hard.
Where are you popping that one then? In the tiers?
I really like it, but it's not as good as BBC Lady. Maybe she is the lone winner today. So I think I'm going to put it in A. Yeah.
A tier. Okay.
It's simple.
And then we had failing the ninth standard.
Yeah. Pretty big failure, to be honest.
I mean, the thing is, and I do enjoy that one because obviously, he had to retake it and all that.
Yeah.
But he's also now a world-renowned director. So did that really matter?
But can you imagine, like, just going back to that age, if you're the kids that had to stay back a year, the kids in school, the kids aren't gonna. Well, it depends on where you are, to be honest, in culture. But if it was my school, you would have been like a legend because you're older than everyone else.
Right.
Age is like the cool thing.
Right.
So in our schools, in our years, you were decided like what year you were on based on, you know, when you were born. So age was always like I don't know, for some reason it was just an accomplishment. But I suppose when you're 6, there's not much else you do accomplish. But if you were in school and you had to do that thing again, you were like this wise one, this old wise one, and all these other kids around you are just like these tiny little peasants, you know? Like, I think in my school, you would have been so cool if you got to do that again, or had to rather.
But I feel like because he was in India, and the little I know of kind of Indian education culture, he may have been judged for having to retake it. But like I said, it didn't impact his life trajectory.
I know.
In any way.
Like, good on him, no matter what, regardless. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I was reading about this like a little while ago.
Mm.
Being smart is just not considered cool in this culture. For some reason, being in the top sets meant you were a nerd, that you like read too much books, and that you just didn't spend enough time with friends hanging out and going outside. Like, it wasn't a cool thing. So yeah, it wouldn't have mattered to the school kids that you failed something, because they just didn't care about that. They just cared that you rolled.
Well, where would you put it? Where would you tier it? And of course, all our listeners, please feel free to tier rank with us.
Yeah, do it at the same time, and let's compare.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to give that S tier, because that is a good failure, and it's a good story, and there's so much in that. That was a whole sort of extra time period that he had to go through, and will have had its little memories and things within that. And now he's super successful. That's a life story.
Up next, we do have Karan Tacker's. I think he said that like failure is a learning experience, which, you know, we have had from guests before, where they've not wanted to delve into, or they just don't have a failure at the time.
After.
Oh, okay. For anyone who's not listened to an episode before, we know that we're not always here for the we don't fail or failure. Failure just happens, you know. We like an experience, but I appreciate his positivity.
Yeah, no, like I respect it, but.
Okay, so then after that, obviously we had Shay Grewal with the lovely BBC story, and then we have the lovely one about kind of being dyslexic and struggling with that as a child, and now wearing it as a badge of honor. Where are we going there?
Oh, that has to be S tier as well, because that is so lovely. You know, that's genuinely, it's both not letting, you know, your condition hinder your life, but it's also embracing it. So it's like two beautiful ways of having this thing in your life. I mean, that's got to be S tier.
And then last but not least, we have the really lovely one where he was saying that, you know, his failures at the end of every festival, and it's being honest and not feeling like he's done enough and not getting all the funding that he hoped for, which was beautifully heartfelt.
As an arbiter of failures, I really think carefully about how I rate these failures. So this is purely just like objectively about the failure itself.
Yeah.
It is sad. Okay? We're sad to hear it. And we've had a lot of failures where people will make a lovely sort of life lesson out of it. And that's fine. A lot of people like to do that. We like to have meaning. We have people that reject the idea that they fail, which is just wild, but I love it. And then we have a failure that is just sad. It just didn't work. But it also doesn't have the acceptance of it that some of them, where it has just gone wrong, have had in the past. This is more of a failure that, well, I just hope it doesn't happen next year. This was a dip that we didn't want to go through. We didn't anticipate this. So with no disrespect to the lovely gentleman who went through this, purely from a failure ranking point of view, I am giving this B tier.
And I think some of that he can't help. You know, like what he was saying about the funding, he can't help that. He can only do his best and hope he gets the support that he needs for the festival.
It's purely just lifing.
But you know, it's been 27 years of the festival, so he's kept it going. He sees it as a failure, but every year they've come back.
Now that is a pretty good nugget. I don't know why I keep saying nugget today.
Are you hungry?
Oh, I'd love some, yeah, a little bit.
Well, let us know what your ranking of all the failures are. Do you agree with Maddie's take? Would you like to...
I'm very sorry to the person that I put in F tier, because that's C to E. That's a whole ocean between.
What would you like to contribute to the exchange today, Maddie?
Peach. Ice. Tea.
I'm going to be honest. I thought you'd stopped at peach. Wait. No, she hasn't stopped. Oh, God. What have I done?
Gelato. So good. Okay, if you've never been to Italy, you'll hear the whispers of this, but you won't really get the hits of the stark contrast in culinary quality to actually visit. It doesn't matter what part of Italy you're in. I was in like a non-touristy spot and I still got to experience the joys of gelato that has absolutely destroyed any enjoyment of ice cream back here in the UK that I could ever hope to taste. The texture has love put in it.
So your contribution this week is peach iced tea gelato.
Yeah.
Nice. So my contribution this week will be, I think I have found, do you know that Roman Empire meme? Like, you know, I think I found my Roman Empire. Because I was like, do I have a Roman, like, who thinks of stuff this, you know, this regularly to have a Roman Empire? But I've thought about it and I have found my Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So the show Andor is currently streaming on Disney Plus for anyone who watches that or enjoys Star Wars. And one of the couplings in it is my Roman Empire.
You ship it.
So they've basically got two of the villains, they are literally, okay, yeah, I feel like we need to like,
are they canon?
They are canon, right? So they are like, they both work for the Empire, and in season 2 they've got them together, Dejamir and Silkan, if you know, you know, and they are my Roman Empire because it is so like they're space fascists ultimately, and like, you know, all of us, we get into relationships, we've all got baggage, but with them it's like baggage with like a present of like, you know, trauma from their parents wheeled in on like a luggage rack of Empire space fascism. And they're both so awkward and so like weird and slightly emotionally stunted and a bit too obsessed with the Empire, but they're together. And I would genuinely watch like an 8-hour series narrated by David Attenborough of just like their domestic life, because it is so riveting. Like, they're terrible people. I don't like them as people, but I just love them together. Like, I've thought about it too much in the past fortnight, and I've realized they are now my Roman Empire.
Interesting.
And there's like I think they'll both die before the end of the series. And even though they're terrible people, I want them both to survive, because there is also this part of me that's like, but where am I going to get 8 seasons of keeping up with the space fascists if they don't survive? How will I live? Because like the genius thing they've done is like to show how, you know, a lot of these people are at the end of the day just people. They just have beliefs we don't agree with. It's like we've had shots of their domestic life. Like, I need to know who sorts out the shopping. Is he the one that always cooks? Does she pick the recipes? How does this happen? Who cleans the house?
Emma,
I need to know this.
You need fanfic.
They are now my Roman Empire. They are absolutely my Roman Empire now. So, it's a great show. It's an amazing show. I think it's the best thing Star Wars has ever done. And that, like, I genuinely thought, I was like, I've loved a lot of fictional couples before, just as you have. But I genuinely think they are now my Roman Empire because it's just so strange. Like, I've dissected their scenes in a way that I imagine only an anthropologist has done academically. It is so fascinating.
Is there a community of shippers of this ship, or is it just our main?
Oh my god, there must be. No, there must be. Because, like, I remember when there were teasers that dropped, because, after season 1, some people were shipping it, but they weren't canon then, right? And then the teasers dropped, and the way people went wild.
It's real.
People were like, oh my god, it's happening, because it's weird. Maddie, it's weird. They're both such damaged people. And it's not that damaged people don't deserve love, because
trauma
they do.
bonding.
But, like, she is so domineering and avoidant, and he is so anxiously attached, and it's so strange. And it's like they communicate but they can't communicate, and they want to smile but also they don't want to smile. And there was this scene which was like, turn off the lights, and everyone's like, but what happens when they turn off the lights? Do they just stand there? What happens? This is my Roman Empire, Maddie.
They're just a recipe for chaos.
This is my Roman Empire now. And they'll probably both die before the end. And we'll never get 8 seasons of their domestic life where I just get to watch to see who does the shopping and then the laundry. But there we are.
It will stick with you.
I just need to know.
Yeah.
Who does what? Is he the one that does the shopping all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Who packs whose briefcase? Does she pick out his outfits? I need to know these things.
You're going through what I was going through in my exchange for the Wave to Earth episode.
Right.
With my show that I watched. Because it's like, well, no, it's over.
Yeah.
Oh, you're telling me it's up to my imagination? I'm meant to figure out what happens in the story between these characters?
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, no, I don't. I know.
I need more.
Well, that's it. Because, again, I'm sure they're going to die at the end of the season, which, is par for the course. But also, like, could you not have shot like 20 hours of just B-roll of them being domestic? Do you have that somewhere? Anywhere?
How many people would tune in for that?
I bet a lot of people would. I bet a lot of people would. It's insane. They're bonkers. Everything about this pairing is bonkers. So we hear everyone else's exchange.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I think what I love doing these days is trekking in the Himalayas in Kashmir, and I think it's a life-changing experience. And I would tell people to go to Kashmir, go to this beautiful, land with beautiful people, and just give love to a land that needs love.
I have just started doing, I try to do 5 minutes of yoga every morning, which is very out of character, but I am oddly enjoying it, and I kind of look forward to it. So I think without any pressure, just 5 to 10 minutes every morning is not a bad thing.
Really, I love doing everything. I love making film. I'm really impassive with it. Also, I was loving sports then. Nice. I mean, nothing stopping me for what I can see or what I can hear. I just love doing things.
Wow, I really wish everyone in Bombay could come to London and enjoy the lovely weather, because it's windy, it's cold, but it's not too cold, so it's just the right kind of weather for me.
Anything by Diljit Dosanjh. Listen to his music. I love it. I love the Punjabi culture. Being British Punjabi is important to me. And also, I've noticed in London, right, we're getting a lot more chaat houses opening up, like Indian street food. That's true. If you haven't tried it, enjoy some samosa chaat. You'll thank me for that. And papri chaat. So yeah, I think food and just how much of a gastronomy scene we have here, I'm really enjoying it.
Spending time with my loved ones, and my family.
We love it.
And yes, and actually it's sometimes because of the sacrifices that they make by missing me, not at those events with them, is why we can able to do some of these things here. And actually this year the festival has had quite a lot of personal loss within the team. So I think that just giving your loved ones a hug and coming to watch a movie with them at the cinema would be a good thing.
Good advert, What would you like your sign-off message to be today?
Oh goodness. I mean, you go first.
Okay, my sign-off message will be turn off the lights. I'm sorry, I told you they're my Roman Empire. I'm just quoting. I'm just quoting.
No. I want to see. I don't like the dark. And counter it with a nice warm lamp.
Cool. Yeah. Turn off the lights, but switch on a lamp.
Yeah, I always sleep with these warm sort of night lights. Don't like the dark. Scary.
Well, shall we listen to everyone else's sign-off message as well?
Yeah.
I think we're constantly in a world right now where it's bleeding everywhere. We're constantly cherishing and nurturing hate and othering, whereas what is so easy to do is to find what binds us together as human beings and not constantly look at what separates us because of religion, class, race. Why are we always looking for reasons to other someone? It's time we search. The world has done that for too long, and maybe that's something seriously wrong with that.
I would like to say that all of us are too much in our comfort zone. It's awesome when we try something new, like watching a film like My Melbourne, watching something with subtitles, something that you wouldn't pick normally.
Keep dreaming wherever nothing can stop you from everything.
And I just want to tell you thank you for all the love. Keep watching me. And if you haven't seen my work just as yet, make sure you go out there and Google me. It's Karan Tacker.
I would say, if you can, get out of your house. I know we like streaming, but come out to the cinema. Whether it's to watch a film with the kids, whether it's a date night, we need to support our local cinemas. I always love going to the movies, and there's nothing quite like being in a cinema with loads of people enjoying a film, forgetting about what's happening outside in the world. So if you can, do that.
This is a very important time, and it's time to collaborate and work together for peace. And our festival actually goes out and says working together, and that message is important.
Hopefully that's uplifted you. What do you think, Maz?
Yeah. If I didn't have problems with noises, I would go to the cinema all the time, man. Get a Tango Ice Blast, sit with your friends. I think the last time I went to the cinema, it was either, well, apart from Udine Forest Film Festival, that was pretty recent. But apart from that, it was either to watch MA and John Wick, or it was during the whole Gentle Minions movement with my friends. We didn't dress up, but we felt like we were part of it, you know?
Well, thank you everyone for listening to another lovely episode. The UK Asian Film Festival is running right now as this episode drops, so go and check it out if you can. We'll leave details in the description below. And
celebrate Asian cinema!
Yes, do! And thank you very much for listening, and we'll leave it to the lovely Maddie Armstrong to do her classic